Welcome to another exciting episode in the channel. Today we are discussing something of serious importance, and that is, what can you do or how can you find out if someone you are talking about immigration in the internet is a fraud or that person has the intention to defraud you. I've always stated it with enthusiasm that I am not a registered, regulated immigration consultant, and I am always only sharing my experience, the experience that I got going through this same immigration process that so many of you are going through. Well, for many like us who are looking for a way to immigrate to Canada, I have in my pocket about 13 years of struggling before finally getting through this. I was rejected 3 times. To say it mildly, I was refused 3 times. I actually tried applying for work permit twice, even getting a work at hand. That was sometime in 2012. I was rejected. Again, I was refused 2 times. I did not relent in my efforts. I went over and applied for permanent residence, and I was again refused a visa application. So I have the experience going through all this with 2 big immigration consultants that I paid money to, but as things went, I actually resorted to doing things myself when all did not work out for me. So based on that experience, I can speak on this, offering you my personal insights on this journey. We will go to the Government of Canada's website, where I always base my discussion on. That is the same website that I used to do it myself. I sat down, read each particular route that I was interested in, took the determined initiative, the step, follow the processes that are there, because everything you need to know and everything you need to do are stated there in the Government of Canada websites. So if you have the time, you have the patience, read it, reread it again, read it again. Yeah, you will make mistakes, but then at the end of the day, you can. But in life, not everyone will want to, and not everyone love doing things themselves. So there are still many who will look out for immigration consultant. So no hard feeling. I'm not against the immigration consultant, but it's just that there are still several others who will want to do things themselves. I used immigration consultant 2 times, but for those 2 times, it wasn't a pleasant experience, because simple things that I would have been told were not communicated. I was refused visa for 2 occasions. In the process, losing money, because these are hard-earned money that we think that once we put it in, we will move to the next stage. But guess what? Refusal. Today, discussing how do you identify immigration fraud. It is very simple. As we have YouTube channel, so you have so many of them, thousands of people parading that they can or they are immigration consultants. Of note, and very, very important, is that the Government of Canada has stated that if you want to use a representative who more or less is an immigration consultant, that person must be registered and regulated. Why is that so? Because if there is any case of something you do not like, something like fraud, you can go to the regulating body and make a formal complaint so that redress can actually be applied to your case. It saves you a lot, because if you contact someone who is not regulated, who is not known, what happens if something goes wrong? It is you and yourself bearing, or you and the person exchanging words, phone calls. Sometimes they won't even answer you. It is not what you want. So be very, very careful when you're carrying out any transaction with someone parading himself as an immigration consultant. What are the things we need to know? Well, let's delve into the Government of Canada website to check some of those things we need to be wary of. So this is the Government of Canada website, simply canada.ca, which is the, for me, the approved website that you can carry out all your transactions. Get to know everything you want to know about the immigration processes, timeline, and all that. But for today, we are concentrating ourselves on this particular section that says, find out if your representative is authorized. So if you go to a YouTube channel and the person says, okay, I am a consultant, contact me, blah, blah, blah. What do you do to be sure that you are not giving, one, your personal details, information, giving it to someone whom you've not met before? The first thing you need to do is to check if that person is authorized. For many immigration consultants, they are domiciled in Canada. Not all, but for those domiciled in Canada, they have to be authorized, they have to be regulated. So you can go about searching this website to see whether that person you want to deal with or you are dealing with is regulated. So what set them apart? They have a registration number and they have affiliation to membership that are controlled. So you check for their licensing, you check if the person is licensed to give immigration advice. Again, if you are not licensed to give advice on immigration, you should not do it because it is something that is illegal. So check with the College of Immigration of Citizens and Consultants. That person must be a member of that. And you also need to check their Canadian Provincial or Territorial Law Society. The person needs to. There must be an affiliation to one or more of these bodies that we are talking about. You can check using the province by province portal. You can check from British Columbia, Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Ontario, Quebec, New Brunswick, Nunavut, Yukon, Prince Edward Island. You can actually make a check for these persons. It is only when you've done that and you've seen that that person is there, not just there, but in good standing. That is another key. The person might be there, but probably has done something, so it's not in good standing. You need to be wary. The person should be in good standing with that particular association. You can make a transaction because if anything goes wrong, you fall back to that body who will stand in your behalf, carry out a redress for you. What about other forms of fraud that you see? So this is the page. Just a flip forward from what we were discussing before. It said, protect yourself from immigration fraud. How do you protect yourself from immigration fraud? Well, I should tell you that some people, out of desperation, they provide virtually all information that someone they've not met before asks them to provide. You can go into Facebook or you've watched a YouTube video and the person is saying, okay, send me your passport number, your date of birth, and all this, then we can discuss further. You met the person before? Have you discussed? Those things are very, very key. Sending sensitive information online, you have to be wary. Some will say, send them over through my email address. You don't know the person. You've not met the person before. And guess what happens? Some people look at comments. I am not saying you should not make comments, but then they try to go a step further, get your email, and they send you an email telling you you and your family qualifies for so and so visa. Just pay $150 or $250 and we'll continue the discussion. Have you ever experienced such? Share your experience in the comment section so that others will be protected from immigration fraud. Others will tell you, oh, you just won so, and your next move is getting this visa. And some people, out of desperation, will want to jump in because they will just want to travel. And they fall prey to this. There are steps you can take to protect these. One of them is phone call scam, internet scam. They send you messages through fake websites. So how do you know which of these websites is fake? Let's dig deeper. For so many people, they have apps in their phones that can detect approximately 90% who that person on the other side represents. And based on the interaction of that person, you can see sometimes when you have that app, and once the call is coming, that person has been tagged scammer. So be very, very careful. Truth be said, not all that attack scammers are scammers. Some could be reputable companies, but because some people do not want to discuss with them, or because of the approach of cold calling people, people just flag them and tag them to the scammers. That is why you, as an individual, need to do your due diligence. You need to carry out your own security check for anybody, any call that is coming that you do not know or you are not expecting. What do you do? If you have the facility to report them, if what they are telling you is too good to be true, probably it is. It could result in identity theft, it could result in fraud, and also stealing of your bank information where they can take so much money from your credit card otherwise. Some will send you a link that you should fill out this required information so that we can process your information further. Guess what they are asking you to fill in? They are asking you to fill your name, first and last name, your date of birth, sometimes your bank details inside that particular website. But guess what? That website is a fake website. So what do you need to know to identify a fake website? Let's see. So once you hover on the name on top of it, that is the sender's name, it will show you the correct link that email is coming from. And more often than not, they are not using a straight link. It is something that is very, very scattered, something that is difficult to comprehend, very long tails, numbers, and all that. You do not want to continue. You do not want to send any such information. What you need to do, mark it spam and subscribe to that particular list. Protect yourself from it. But one thing I want to tell you today is this. Most people are saying, oh, help me get a job, help me do this, help me get that in Canada. Yes, it is possible. Someone can help you get that. But guess what? Getting a job to Canada is not a guarantee that you will still come to Canada. Did you hear what I said? Getting a job in Canada is not a guarantee that you will still get to Canada. The onus, the power for you to come to Canada is in the hands of the visa officer. So everything done and said, even if you filled everything, if you're still not able to convince the visa officer will still stamp on your visa refused. And probably they will give you, just like they gave me, some lists. In the very first instance, they said I was not able to prove ties to my country. In the second instance, they said that I have not shown enough information that I will leave Canada. So it lies in the hands of the visa officer. So do not focus all your energies, your money, securing a job in Canada. Instead, look at the whole process in total. so that you can know how you can convince the visa officer and providing all documented proof. But take note, one thing that they don't like and everybody do not like is what they call doctoring of your documents, your information. You know, when you start to doctor, to make things, to manufacture paperwork to suit some information, you are bound to make error. And what happens in Canada is that once it is found, it is a criminal offense that is called misrepresentation. And it can lead to you, even if you are in Canada and it was found out, you can be removed. If you've not come, you will be banned from entering Canada for 5 years. So instead of producing a fake paper, why not use 1 or 2 years, get those paper and apply? Look at it that way for the long run. Immigration is not something you do now. It's like a marathon. Many people start it, they finish in 1 year, some people in 2 years. In my case, it's for 13 years. For others, it's longer, while for some, it's shorter. Everybody is different. You are different. So make yourself qualified, provide all the necessary information so that the visa processing officer will be able to make an informed decision, because you will not be there in person answering any question. It is just the documentation that you filled out, that you've submitted, that the visa processing officer is looking at, and he bases these decisions on those information. So even if you have that information that led to your refusal, you can't even use it at that time again because it was not there. So spend a little time, go through it. Do not be in a hurry to send your private information to virtually everybody online who wants it for the sake of you wanting to immigrate. Those are precious. It can lead to identity theft. And the consequence could be very, very disastrous to you in the long run. As always, if you found value to this discussion, like the video so that many people will know, YouTube will see that this video is very important, and it will share it to others so that they can protect themselves from immigration fraud. Let's share this video to others to protect them. Yes, it's important as you wanting to immigrate to Canada. What is more important is for your private information to be kept intact so that you do not have serious consequences in the near future. Subscribe to the channel so that we can grow a community that is here to help others. Guess what? Even though we are not immigration consultants, we can still share our experiences. I can still tell you, oh, go to SNIP website, put in an expression of interest. Look at New Brunswick, look for a particular job, then go for it and fill in the application of the expression of interest when you are invited. Yes, because I've gone through some of these and I take time to go through the immigration website. My experiences are different from you, the very next person watching this video. And when we share our experiences here in the channel, many more will come to see. Many more will see our mistakes and learn from our mistakes so that they will not put foot into that same track that led us to the same mistake. Let's forge a strong community here. Let's do it. I know we can. We have been doing it thus far. All 609 persons here. We are building this community and we are growing stronger. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. And keep sharing this video so that more people will hear me say thank you. And I'll see you in the next video.